I am sure Charlie Chaplin had no chance of meeting Ajay. And yet, if you have seen the film The Great Dictator of Charlie Chaplin, you will understand how emotion is deployed initially and even at the end, the complete transformation of that emotional catharsis. Exactly opposite of what the film starts saying, it ends up with different scenario. And incidentally, the film was made in 1940, when Hitler was actually winning the wars everywhere. Hitler started losing after 1943, after Stalingrad, but between 1939 and 1943, he was on the winning streak. And yet, in 1940, Charlie Chaplin shows the madness of the man, including his constant competition with Mussolini. So it is not as if emotion was not deployed even before. Emotion has been constantly deployed. And it is not only on the right. Ajay gives examples of how Narendra Modi has penetrated the consciousness of the people from everybody, from a carpenter, from a rickshaw driver, from a panwala, how Modi has entered the consciousness of the people. But let us not also forget that despite all this widespread Modi phenomenon and his network and his propaganda network and completely controlling the media, he could not get more than 31% vote in 2014, which means 69% of the people did not vote for Modi. And why I am saying Modi and not BJP, because every single survey, if you remember, in 2013 said, asking the readers to respond to the question of BJP and Modi, many of them said, we are not voters of BJP, but this time we are voting Modi. In fact, I think India Today concluded that 8 to 9% voters they interviewed are going to vote Modi and not BJP. That was a 2013 survey, not just once, many surveys said that. So which means that in 2014, when he got 282 seats, with 31% vote, 69% of the voters were not impressed by the same campaign. In 2019, but for Balakot and Pulwama again, he would not have got 37% vote, and even at that time, 63% people have not voted Modi, which shows that the so-called campaign based on heightened emotion of Hindutva, basically hatred towards Muslim. Hindutva is only hate for Muslims, and there's nothing more than that. And ironically, they don't understand paradoxes and ironies because they are intellectually challenged, most of them. The simple thing is, on the one hand, they want Akhand Bharat, which means that will include Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, everything will be included. In fact, I am told, I have not seen, in the new parliament, the map is of that Akhand Bharat. In Pune, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad map in Dhyan Prabodhin is also Akhand Bharat. So be that as it may, the strange thing is, on the one hand they say Akhand Bharat, and on the other hand they say under the CAA they will not be allowed here. So how can you call Akhand Bharat and still deny right of Muslims? So if you have Akhand Bharat, have Bangladesh, Pakistan, everybody there. Bangladesh wasn't there in any case on 13, 14 August 1947. The point is that despite all this hatred, let us not forget that it is not love Modi campaign. It is not support Modi campaign. It is hate Muslim, hate Congress, hate Nehru family campaign. In fact, often hate Congress means hate Nehru family. They don't want really Congress Mukta Bharat because they are ready to welcome every single congressman. Not only Ghulam Nabi Azad or Sachin Pilot, who are still not part of them, but there's so many, Jyotiraj, so many of them congressmen, they want So they are not against Congress. So what are they against? They are against the ideology of Congress, essentially manifested by Pandit Nehru in the idea of India. So their hatred is for Nehru, that's why they are changing every name, every institution's name where Nehru appears. I won't be surprised after 24 if things don't go the way they should. Jawaharlal Nehru University will be known perhaps as Deen Dayal Upadhyay University. I won't be surprised of that. Or perhaps the Nehru University itself could be abolished. I don't know whether you recall, in one of the Indie TV debates, former comrades like Chandan Mitra and Swapan Dasgupta argued that Jawaharlal Nehru University should be finished. It doesn't have a right to exist. They are on NDTV panel, where I was also on the panel. So which means that it is not really the emotion of love Modi, support Modi, but hate Congress, hate Nehru family, and on that sentiment of hate, the entire edifice has been built of the Modi phenomenon. If in 24, Modi is really defeated, and even after defeat, if he tries to continue, like Trump tried to continue, but Modi is smarter than Trump. So Modi will try something better, something different to continue in power after 24, even if he is defeated, or even if he is reduced in numbers. And therefore, at that time, we will have to be emotional. And we will have to fight back the hatred campaign and the point of continuing to be in power by fighting positive emotion. There was a book, I think, in 1960s, titled Ideology and Attitude. That was the title of the book. Now, the author there had tried to understand the relationship of attitudes and ideology that the people have. We have often seen that people who hold the same ideology are comrades but not friends. And that is because they agree intellectually, they don't agree emotionally. And many comrades I have seen differing on the question of handling emotions. So emotion is indeed a very, very significant factor, which Ajay has brought out eloquently in the book. But emotion on its own cannot be really understood unless we combine it with ideology-driven emotions. Now, whether ideology can drive emotion or not is not actually a question, because whole Russian Revolution was also emotional. Every single Bolshevik and every single Menshevik had not read empirical criticism or Das Kapital, but they worked on emotion. And one last point, you must have seen, noticed, Gandhiji used emotion, but that was more compassion. It was not the kind of emotional rhetoric Gandhi has ever used. Gandhi considered himself a Sanatani Hindu, but he has never been seen in any photograph in temple, with temple, performing puja, nothing of the sort. He is not there with any god, and he calls himself Hindu. And yet his speeches, many of them could not be even heard, despite that microphone titled Chicago, could not be heard. Many people sitting behind could not even hear him. They could hardly even see him. So much was the crowd. And what impressed so many people across the country, he knew only 3 languages, Gujarati, Hindi and English. But Tamils were impressed, Malayalis were impressed. Every single linguistic community in India was impressed by Gandhi's thoughts. He has not addressed them in their language. He has not raised his voice. He has never used rhetoric. He has never used quote-unquote emotion in a negative or, for that matter, even positive sense, in the sense of provoking people. In fact, he de-provoked people. And therefore, I think emotion has its place, but emotion can be manifested and can be reflected in many ways. Gandhiji did it in totally different way than what the son of another Gujarat, Modi, is doing. So Modi and Gandhi belong to the same state, but have different approach to emotion and different approach to ideology. Thank you very much.